a short prayer for us so that we can start together. All right. If we can have any volunteer, someone to just come off mute and they can lead us in a prayer, and therefore we will be able to start. Thank you.
Let us pray.
Thank you, Pamela.
Let us pray. Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, we thank you for this evening. Thank you for this wonderful meeting. As we begin with us. Teach us. We thank you. We pray, trusting and believing in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
And thank you, Pamela, for leading us in that front. Just going to make another announcement for the purpose of ensuring that we are all moving in the right direction. Please, once you join the meeting, you are requested to ensure that your mic is off. And there is no disturbance from where you are. Secondly, just to mention that ensure that you sit in a place where you can be able to hear clearly. Ensure you have a notebook like mine with a paper that you can write something, because a lot of the engagement tonight is going to be a little bit intense. One, ensure your mic is on mute. Number two, find a place that is serene for you, and ensure you have a notebook and a paper that you can actually be able to take down some notes. Fourthly, ensure your camera is at all times, because we want to save as much data as possible, because it's not always, we cannot say that we are that good, so we keep saving the data, because this is important for all of us by ensuring that our cameras are off. Then the other thing I want to say is that for the purposes of this event, we're going to be recording the meeting. It's for the purpose of ensuring that everyone is able to get it later on. We have amazing speakers joining us tonight, and without much ado, I'll play a small video, which I'm going to share my screen and do, and from there I will do the introductions. It's going to be a panel discussion. So I'm going to ask the panelists after a few minutes, except for one, that you can turn on your cameras so that we can be able to engage the audience in a perfect and amazing way. Now. Okay, I'm going to share my entire screen. All right. Mr. Joel, if you can see my screen, you can let me know.
Yeah, I can see your screen from my end. Visible.
Digital citizenship.
That's not the video that I wanted to play. Thank you very much. I'm going to play a video that I'm going to. This event is brought to you by STEAMLabs Africa, an initiative we use STEAM education to empower teachers, students, and communities in Africa. It is under the initiative we call STEAMLabs EdTech and Innovation Hub. My name is Felix Malombe. I'm the Executive Director of Africa. I lead in the front of partnerships and a front on engaging various partners, including schools like you, to ensure that we transform education together in Kenya and beyond. Secondly, say that the specific initiative called EdTech and Innovation Hub focuses on you as teachers and educators that are changing the lives of the students that are in our care today. Now, I'm going to proceed. Mr. Felix Mashari, if you can ensure off, I'm going to proceed and bring out the discussion that we're going to have to. And so without much ado, I'll play the second video about committing.
Citizenship isn't just a set of don'ts.
With video that focuses on digital citizenship and just a few things about what it is. For me to do that, I'm going to go back to my meeting. I'm very sure I'm not sharing the sound. I'm going to reshare and ensure that I share then the system audio. Right. It's going to be a very short message, less than a minute. I'd like you to hear very well.
Digital citizenship isn't just a set of don'ts. It's time to redefine the playbook and commit to a new definition of what digital citizen means. Today's digital citizens are inclusive and open, and representing multiple viewpoints. They are informed, evaluating the validity of digital media and social posts. Engaged, using technology and digital channels to be a force for good. Balanced, prioritizing time online and off. And alert, being safe and creating safe spaces for others online. Join the movement today at digcitcommit.org.
Thank you very much. And that brings us to the discussion today. Welcome on board, fellow teachers, fellow citizens of this great continent and this great country, Kenya. Thank you, visitors from various parts of the world and various parts of the continent. We are grateful that you're joining us for this panel discussion. In our panel discussion today, I'm going to be introducing our speakers, the ones that are going to lead the discussion today. Now, without keeping us waiting, I want to say congratulations to Morocco for taking the lead and remaining. I don't know how the scores look like at the moment, but I've left it at 1-0, and I wish Great Continent all the best in this endeavor. Has managed to sail to the next stage. Congratulations to them. So with us today, apart from Morocco, we have our 4 panelists. Usually when we talk about panel discussions, we are having several educators from various backgrounds coming to talk about a topic of interest. And today we are discussing about digital citizenship in the classroom. So with me, I have the first panelist. I'm going to do the introduction, Mr. Joel Kahindi, who is a professional learning stroke development specialist at STEAMLabs Africa. According to what we find about Joel on various on the media platforms, whether it is on LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, and another platform out there that educators use to amplify their voice on the digital trends. Mr. Joel is an MIE expert and STEAMLabs Africa's professional learning specialist. He has a Bachelor of Education in Mathematics and Business Studies from Pwani University. Mr. Joel has an extensive experience in effective pedagogical ICT integration in teaching, learning, and assessment. He aspires to be an instructional designer, given his personal education experience or personal experience in curating content and various training opportunities availed to him the umbrella of the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. Mr. Joel has been involved in KICD, the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development online course.
None.
There is one
Sin.
that
Neymar.
if you are joining the meeting, please kindly mute and ensure your camera is off so that you can save on data, Mr. Rex. And if you can put your camera off, you save much data. All right, I will now proceed to detail about Mr. Joel. I just said he has been involved in the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development online courses curation, the EduCloud, from the KICT CFT online facilitation, and is a non-digital leader in Kenya on matters to do with education. He is currently a school teacher at Kasidi Primary School, where he mentors and supports students and educators alike to become the best version of themselves in school and also outside, especially in the Pwani region of Kenya. Mr. Kasidi has been involved with activities that are supporting the district, not the district, rather, the region around Kilifi counties, where he supports the leaders or the county directors with the training of Scratch, coding, and other platforms. Welcome, Mr. Joel. You can now unmute, rather not unmute. You can now put your mic, camera on. And if possible, you can unmute and say a word.
Okay, thank you, Felix, and I hope everyone is well this evening. Regarding the definition and the introduction, actually, there's nothing to add. That is me. And most importantly, I'm passionate about technology in the classroom, and that's what I do best, especially when it comes to learning and learning and relearning. We keep doing what we love and we share with others. Thank you so much, Felix.
Thank you, Mr. See to the next panelist, Mr. Joel. If you don't mind, you can put your camera on. I don't know if it's on. Now move to the second panelist, and the second panelist is from a company in Kenya. She is a CEO of many startups in Kenya. A specific place in the hearts of the children. This is none other than Miss Jennifer Kaberi. Miss Jennifer Kaberi is a fellow at the Beckman Center for Equality at the Harvard University in the US. She investigates in that course how to reboot the social media by creating a digital environment where children can engage, create, influence in a safe and fun environment. She is also a child development specialist with a master's in child development from Daystar University in Nairobi, Kenya. Jennifer has over 15 years of experience working with children and a significant amount of developing child-focused systems. Ms. Jennifer has supported several government agencies. In fact, she has placed a bill in the parliament that protects children, and it has been adopted in the Kenyan. She was also in charge of regional bodies that develop as part of technical committees. She's part of those committees. Moreover, Ms. Jennifer has been trailblazing in using technology as a tool by creating platforms where children can hold their leaders accountable as well as contribute to national and regional debates. Jennifer, welcome on board. As you unmute your mic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Felix, for this opportunity to just come and speak to amazing people who are passionate about technology and children. Apologies, guys, you'll not be able to see my face because I have an infection, so my lips are swollen, and I don't want you guys to have nightmares because of my lips. I don't know. I don't know if it's something I ate or it's just an infection. So I've been down for the last 2 days. So, but this was very important for me to be able to join in. Thank you so much, Felix, for the invite, for the introduction, and for the invite to participate in this meeting. Thank you.
And thank you, Jennifer, for being so awesome to us and point well at the end of this session, we would hope. Thank you. And that is Jennifer. I'm moving to the third panelist. We have Pamela Azenfuet de Manu. Now, Pamela of Quantech Foundation. I'm going to ask the members who are joining the meeting to ensure their mics are off kindly. If you can ensure your mic is off. All right, thank you very much. All right, Pamela is a founder of Quantech. She is a computer science teacher and also a teaching assistant. Besides managing her classes, she coordinates computer science, manages the Quantech Foundation NGO, and designs empowering and professional orientation sessions for students. Since 2014, Ms. Pamela has been involved in many community initiatives addressing women and youth issues in STEM. She focuses on women and empowerment of the young, especially young girls and mothers, motivating them to pursue careers in STEM fields and to continually creatively think on how STEM tools can be used to enhance their entrepreneurial skills and become opportunities creators. Pamela reducing unemployment rate in the West African region of the continent and in our country, that is Cameroon. Pamela holds a master's software engineering, and she's a DevOps enthusiast. Let me break that down. Development, operation engineer, DevOps engineer, focused on software engineering and stuff like that. She'll be talking to us about herself and many more things. Ms. Pam, I'll give you this mic to just say something, and welcome to Kenya, the online community.
I'm so honored to be a member of such amazing panel, and I will be very glad to exchange with you and to share and also learn. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my friend. All right, moving on to the fourth panelist. I'm going to go very fast. This is our own champion, Leonida Soy, founder and CEO of EduLoop Africa. Ms. Leonida is a computer science and computer studies teacher at Moi Forces Secondary School in Mombasa. But away from that, let me tell you who she is in detail. Ms. Soy is the founder and the CEO, Chief Executive Officer, EduLoop Africa. She is the Tech Women Fellow. She's a Tech Women Fellow, a Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert, just like Joel in Kenya. She's a STEM mentor. Sorry, I have to mute Marupe Wilson for that matter. Okay, I'll go back to Leonida. She's the founder. Kindly, my good friends, if you can mute. Wilson, please ensure your mic is on mute. Do not turn it on, otherwise you will interrupt the proceedings. Thank you. All right, I was saying Ms. Leonida is the founder and CEO of EduLoop Africa, Tech Women Fellow, Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert, MIE Expert. She is a STEM mentor, Africa Code Week Women Workshop Facilitator. Ms. Leonida is a mentor, organization called the GLOW Foundation, and GLOW is based in Kenya and works to break the poverty and transforms the future of young women in Kenya by supporting college of future female leaders. She aids these students in bringing thematic change to issues of poverty, health, education, and gender equality. That I feel SDG 1, SDG 3, SDG 4, and SDG 5. Wow. Global school advocate. Sorry, as a global school advocate, Ms. Leonida works to provide teachers with capacity development or capacity building and encourages schools to incorporate education for sustainable development in their school curricula, lessons, and activities. Ms. Leonida is also sitting at the advisory board of the International Education Technology, that is ICEDT, which is a consortium for schools to gather together or to share EdTech resources, educator communities, courses, mentorship, and professional development with global recognized certifications. ICEDT recognizes and celebrates achievements of educators on a network of schools around the world. This body also works to build a community where educators are inspired to use technology to empower learners to develop a core set of expected skills and global competencies to be required in the world that we live in as adults. And this is our very own Ms. Leonida Soy, the digital citizen herself. Welcome on board, my sister, and say a word.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Felix. That was an introduction. I thought it was somebody else, not me. I'm just a classroom teacher. We'll share what much I know. Thank you so much for inviting me in this panel.
All right, we now dive in, people. Thank you for joining the meeting. Thank you, Leonida, Pamela, Joel, and Jennifer. Today, we delve into the discussion on what really happens in our classrooms, what happens in our schools, what is happening at home, and what is happening in our various religious places. What can we do to prepare our generation for takeoff. Many times, I've told the educators in this space, in this room, in this hub, that the population of Africa is bound to explode in the next few days, in the next few years, in the next 20 years. The people who are sitting in a classroom will be twice as much in the years to come. And if that is the case, we need to prepare Africa for takeoff. But we cannot keep saying we are going to prepare this by just mere words. So we are just people. What do we need to do? And technology came to us at a time when we were not ready. Now, to introduce the topic, I want to draw an excerpt, a piece from one of the books written by a great leader, Mr. Mark. The book is titled The Digital Citizenship Handbook for School Leaders. This introduction, it is drawn from an inspiration from one of the great writers, Mr. Simon Sinek, who says, start with why. I quote, a leader's job is not to do the work for others. It is to help others figure out how to do it themselves, to get things done, and to succeed beyond what they thought would be possible. That is Sinek, or Sinek, some people would say, on his book, How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action. As a preamble, I want to say schools and government agencies have come to the realization of that just saying no to bad technology practices in school or at home does not or rarely solves the issue of poor online use, and is definitely not helping to prepare students for the life to come. This thing where you see as school leaders and you hear our parents and even everybody talking about everyone no. The no leadership posture has been identified as easily as one on blocking websites. You talk to parents, they are looking for platforms on what can they use to block their children on Wi-Fi so that they do not access certain things, or blocking their students so that do not buy their phones as early. I cannot give my child a phone at this age, or just failure to be reluctant using digital tools and resources into learning because of fears of what the student might do, or what they are not sure that maybe the students are knowing so much. Sometimes we have a cult of adults who just say no, just because they don't want to engage or they are unable to engage in conversations when students share a story about what a peer or another said about an issue. The ideals of digital citizenship then have not changed much, but the issues that have come in the years past have become more expansive, more serious, and far-reaching. And you know the stories. Some students are creating digital footprint as we know it. In fact, some people say it's a digital tattoo, referring to the permanence nature of the information that the children are as they go, whether it is TikTok, whether it is on Microsoft Word, or it's just maybe someone calling another. That becomes the digital tattoo or digital be visited later on. And for us as educators and parents, we need to find out where is the disconnect happening. Why do we insult politicians as if they are our age mates or our peers? Why do we insult our leaders as if we are the social and mainstream media in this day and age? What do we need to do so that this thing can be amended? And with me, I have an amazing panel that is going to tell us what is that we need to do as teachers in our schools, as leaders, and deputy school heads, head teachers, both primary and secondary and higher education where possible, to about a change in Africa and prepare our schools for takeoff. Okay, some people are telling me, what are you talking about, my friend? We don't even have laptops. I'm not talking about laptops. I'm talking about phone. We're having a meeting with your head teacher and you are checking your phone, or you are just chatting with your friend. Students are doing that. Or you are just telling children they cannot come with their phones to school if they can afford, because you feel like they are going to exchange messages to other people. Where are we? Now, allow me at this juncture to request our panelists, starting in the order that I introduced them, Joel, Jennifer, Pamela, and Leonida, to tell us what they think digital citizenship is all about. Joel?
Okay, thank you once again, Felix, for that wonderful introduction and the general insights you have provided in regard to digital citizenship. And so digital citizenship in the context of education may seem to be a complex thing to many people or many educators, but generally, we know we interact a lot online, and we also do not know what we do, whether it's right or not. So when you talk of digital citizenship, we are referring to acting in the best way possible. The habits that we normally inculcate, the way that we interact, the way that we communicate, the way that we use the social media handles in a manner that is friendly to everyone. So I can say digital citizenship is the list of do's. What are you supposed to do in line with the norms, in line with the rules that are provided, such that your presence online does not ruin the character of another person. That's what I can say for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joel. That is Joel speaking about the list of do's and don'ts. We're going to come back to that down and say if it is making sense or not. But at this time, I'm going to call upon Jenny to come and speak to us. And by the way, Charles, if you can just put your camera off so that you can save on data, we're just requesting the panelists to remain on camera. Jennifer, please.
Thank you so much. So for me, digital citizenship from the place I come from, I support children. I provide children a platform to speak for themselves, and that's a digital platform. So being a digital citizen means knowing that your rights as a child are the same. Okay, your rights online and those ones offline. Actually, let me start. Your rights offline are the same online. Okay. So, as for example, if I'm going to use the African Children's Charter, the African Children's Charter, you have a right to participation, you have a right to health, you have a right to education, you have a right to express yourself, and then you have a responsibility. Article 31 of the African Children's Charter says that every child has a responsibility. The same rights that you have offline, you have them online, and you should enjoy them equally. And if you have a responsibility, you also have responsibility. If you cannot be able to bully people offline, you cannot be able to bully people online. Okay, you have a responsibility of holding your leaders accountable. If you have that responsibility of holding leaders accountable offline, you can use the space that is and the amazing tool that is online and digital spaces to be able to hold leaders accountable. Okay, so I will give an instance. Some amazing kids who are using to hold leaders accountable. For example, Greta. Okay, she has built a whole movement online just to hold world leaders accountable on issues to do with climate change. She's being a digital citizen, okay? Because this is their realities. These kids don't know any other life apart from digital. So being a digital citizen is knowing your rights and how you can be able to enjoy and exercise them in the digital world. I'll be speaking more on how we do that at Mtoto News.
Thank you very much, Jenny. Speaking about rights and responsibilities, many times declaring we need a right, but that we have a responsibility. Children, freedom, and their rights. Thank you very much. We now move on to Pamela, if you can tell us in your context as a software developer, as a teacher, as a teaching assistant, and in Cameroon.
Okay, thank you, Felix. Sorry. Okay, so for me, according to our context, a digital citizen for me is the first a children who is aware of a digital literacy. that will know how to master those the digital tool very well, how to type, how to use a mouse, maybe, but even how to move on the internet. So apart from that, once they master all those things, and according to the fact that we have a huge amount of information that coming through, they need to be detect the true of uh, how to have a sense of discernment, like you need to know if this information is a fake or is a true information that you can use in order to build yourself, to build your skills, or to make an argumentation. And also, a digital citizen is somebody who is already, as Jennifer said, somebody who's aware of his right, all things that they know that you have to do and what you don't have to do. It even in the real life, like even online, like harassment, you don't have to arrest somebody. You don't have to use something that you don't create, something like steal something, downloading, use things that you're not the pro. It's not your property, if I can say it like this. So somebody who are aware of the use of digital tools and the use of digital tool in this right context. For me, that is a digital citizen. Thank you.
Thank you, Pamela. I'm Pamela speaking greatly around many topics. Paul, if you can see me, Paul Akello, you can just put your camera off. Yeah, I mean, with this, like combining Joel and Jennifer, and now we have my friend here. I know, Pamela, your camera can stay on, it's okay. It's the other members from the team. We have, Leonida now as a computer scientist. Speak to us.
Thank you. Thank you, Felix. I think I agree with the panelists. Yes, it can be between the do's and the don'ts, and the responsibilities that we have online. If it is a child, a learner, as a teacher, I look at it in form of a learner because we are the one to introduce to them what are the do's and the don'ts. And also the digital literacy, as Pamela has said. But what I can add on is that digital citizenship goes beyond that. It is about not looking at the problems of the digital world, but looking at the opportunities that it has. What are the opportunities? Not looking at the risks, but looking at how we can grow with it. So digital citizenship is for the learners and us who are molding these learners to show them, sometimes the parents have told them internet is not good, but how can we mold to tell them the opportunities are there? How can we mold them that, yes, you'll find problems, but how can we mold? How can we live there? That is where now we bring in the do's and the don'ts. But first is looking at the opportunities. But introducing a learner into the do's and the don'ts first, there will be those who will retrieve and have the fear. But first, show them what are the opportunities that are there. Then now, go forth. Thank you, Felix.
There you go. Going beyond. Thank you very much. That's the CEO of EdLoop Africa speaking to us regarding this place of digital citizenship. And, I was just perusing the note and what you guys are, and I'm placing something on the chat for the audience to look at. I see Anthony Abele has been, South African say Anthony, so I'm going to call you Anthony. He says, using digital space responsibly to advance emerging issues, addressing social concerns, societal concerns, and creating awareness of the use of digital resources for the right context. Amazing, amazing. And look at this. This is what I found from the ISTE standards, International Society for Technology and Education. It says, and I'm going to take everything and I'm going to place it there just to see if it makes sense. Digital citizen, students recognize the rights. I'm very sure Jenny is happy. Responsibilities, opportunities for living, that is what Pamela was saying, the learning and working in an interconnected digital world, that is Joel there being mentioned. And look at what my sister finished with. They are able to act in that are safe. Again, we go back to my sister Jenny, and ethical and ensuring that they are ethical. So the list of do's and don'ts comes and sits around ethics, that kind of a thing. And that is just a definition that is coming from one of the platforms that we may go back to and look at. And yes, amazing ideas coming from various speakers. Now, allow me to move to the second question, seeing that that one has been addressed very well by our panelists. And thank you very much, our panelists, for coming very clearly to us. Now, they say technology should humanize learning. Technology in the classroom should humanize learning, not just digitize the curriculum. That is a statement said by Max Pavel. Now, Max Pavel is my friend, okay, from the US, an education leader at tech giant, the Microsoft in education. And he talks about social emotional learning. Is technology in the classroom should humanize learning. It should not digitize the curriculum. Many people are waiting for technology to come, but they already have technology in their classrooms. So my question comes from that quote, and I'm asking Mr. Kahindi, Mr. Joel Kahindi, I would like you to tell me, yeah, are you ready? I'm asking you, what are the elements of digital citizenship that can be used or can be referred to when it comes to what is happening in the classroom? What are the elements? What elements would you consider could be? I mean, like, what are the things that we can talk about in digital citizenship when it comes to what is happening in the classroom? Not just about the curriculum, but also about the everything else that has to do with that. Tell us more. Elements of digital citizenship.
Okay, thank you, Felix, for that question. I think when we talk of digital citizenship, from the definition, what is coming out clear is that about the rules and the norms, and again, just like Nida said it, that we also need to recognize the opportunities that lie within the online world. And so according to ISTE, which is a social registered company, it focuses on innovation in the classroom, but mainly concentrating on innovation using smart technology in the class. So as ISTE put it, the students that we handle as educators, when we bring them down to digital citizen as a concept that we need to make them understand, then their guiding principles. And some of these guiding principles include the following. So one is digital literacy. I think Pamela talked of digital literacy, where we need to understand the teacher has to understand how best is this able to take a course online, for example. What are the rules and what are the platforms that this teacher is able to use for him or her to understand the course? Then moving down to the learner, moving down to the student, then digital literacy is about being aware of those opportunities, being aware of those platforms that the learner can use. For example, maybe a platform like Flipgrid. Is the learner able to use Flipgrid? And how does he use the Flipgrid in the classroom, for example? So being aware of the opportunities, being aware of the tools and how to use them, then brings up what we call digital literacy. Okay, then literacy again goes beyond. Are you able to authenticate the information that comes your way, the information which you meet online? Are you able to actually say this is the right information? Is it a true information for you to consume? Is it possible for you to understand that sometimes we forward messages, we rely on rumors which move around without knowing that we have an obligation to understand that whenever we meet information, whenever we get information online, there is need for us to understand that that information, before you forward it to the second person, the third person, we actually have to authenticate it. So that's again brings about what we call digital literacy. Then we have etiquette, digital etiquette. And so etiquette here is about just good manners, or the manners that we portray. We are on the virtual world, just like we are on a virtual meeting now. You started, Felix, by saying, mute your video, mute your mic. Some of those things seem to be so ordinary and basic, but you realize that if we don't go as per what is required, then we cause a lot of distraction. We also miss out the point when maybe a presenter is on stage. So etiquette is about even when you are just about to make a post, the information you have written as a message, before you hit the send button, you need to proofread and understand that is it the right message, and is it well written, for example? Is it in a manner that when it's a message directed to you in return, you accept it without any victimization? So etiquette is about the manners that we need to mold into our learners, and that also forms part of the elements as stated by Easton. Then digital security. Digital security here now is a very paramount and one of the elements that is actually causing a lot of problems to some of us teachers and even the business world. So security here now, we bring in the elements of how safe are you, right? We understand sometimes you sign up a form online, you sign up a course online, you are asked to have the username and the password. But little do we know that the user needs this information for security reasons. From the system developer, this person wants to know how many people are in my systems, how many people have registered with me. But again, there are those people who are out to cause mayhem, to cause problems. And so just the password and the username may not be enough, right? So moving ahead, probably we can talk of two-factor verification processes as you set up the password. For you to be safe, then you must add other layers of security on top. So I think those are just three, and there are many elements that I can talk about, but I feel like my colleagues can also pick up from there. Thank you so much.
Wow, 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 wow. Guys, can you hear? The elements of digital citizenship include digital literacy, digital authenticity. I call that being informed and managing false news, etiquette, behavior and all that, and how we conduct ourselves. Okay, you guys have been a team with me on a chat group where I've been bullied myself, and Leonida was telling me about it. I've been, accused of, scams and stuff because of things to do with etiquette, but also trust, and then we're talking about 2FF, the security layers that are going to support us. I think there are around 9 of them. And Mr. Joel just highlighted a few, and you can Google and you can find out information about them. And so informed. Mr. Joel, we are grateful to have a learned fellow like you. Thank you very much. And now proceed to the next question. In the interest of time, I'm going to talk to Miss Leonida. Miss Leonida, do you have a school policy on how you are going to do digital citizenship? Do you, in one term, say this week you are focusing on digital behavior and how we can prepare our children, even though they don't have phones in school, or the teachers themselves, they do not bring phones in a meeting or during lunch, those are the things. Do you have a policy around that? And in your own context as a computer science teacher, because digital citizenship is not about teachers of technology, what would you say is the best approach to look at citizenship in a school or in a classroom, whether you are teaching English, mathematics? Mr. Ovin Nyangaya, I'm not very sure it's Nyangako, I'm not very sure about that name, but Ovin teaches English, but he also teaches coding, for example. Not talking about coding, guys, today. I'm just talking about the digital humanization, if there is such a thing, citizenship. How are you running that in your school at Moifosis? And how are you planning to do that in EdLoop? Thank you. Leonida?
Thank you, Felix. You're putting me on a spell on what I'm going to do. Yeah, I think I will look at it generally. I can't say like in our institution, we don't have a policy, but what should happen if policy is there? Because in the administrative level, what are you supposed to do to introduce? And I will look at it in 5 points. That is especially to the learner. My focus mostly is to the learner, but also it can apply to the educators and anybody in the marketplace. So the first thing that you want to look at is you need first to promote this digital literacy as the way Kahindi is talking about. Do they really know what digital literacy is? Because you can't teach the do's and the don'ts if they don't understand. They might not even know when they use those phones that this is part of digital. Is it the digital content? I remember a situation in class when somebody said, we talk of integrating ICT in the classroom. So somebody comes and asks, when I use PowerPoint, am I integrating? Somebody else says, when I take this video, so they really don't understand what digital literacy is. So the first thing to do is, as you deal with educators or learners, is to be able to have them understand what digital literacy is. And I will not waste time to go through what digital literacy Pamela has talked about, Kahindi has talked about it. It all covers generally the use, the tools that you can use, how they apply and everything. Then when you have your class aware of digital literacy, the step number 2 that you need to do is to protect their privacy. Now they would be in this place where they have access to this global world, the endless world that is there. So the step number 2 is, how do you enable them to understand to protect? You'll find somebody like even us as educators, you take that picture with your kids, your students, you post it on social media, I take them for a tour. Do you have the consent of their parents? That is the privacy. So as an educator, always when you have these activities and plan, create maybe a form, an online form, or even a physical form for the parents, for all those who are under 18, to sign the consent so that you can use for publicity. Or there is also another way, we can have them without showing their faces. So that is something also we should look at. And privacy also, what are these students accessing? Because there are levels that they are supposed to. If they are kindergarten kids, there is a YouTube for kids. Are they exposed to which level? So now they are already aware that this is the digital world we are talking about. Now you are introducing the privacy. What are they supposed to talk? What can they post? I remember the Kardashians, for those who watch the E, there was a time the daughter, Kim Kardashian, the daughter did a Instagram video showing all around their home. The mother was not aware. So those are what we call now, what level of privacy do you have to expose? The same thing, I remember my daughter telling me the other day, I want to have my channel. She's just 11 years. Now, like she needs her channel. But at 11, how much should we be able to control? What do I expose? What don't I expose? So this is at the level now you introduce privacy. Then you go to the third thing that you look at is on the etiquette. I'm coming back to what Kahindi was talking about. Now they are on the they know what digital literacy is. They have gone through the privacy of what they should do. Now, to the other person, do they have freedom? I've seen, especially those people who are introverts, they tend to be so active on the social media. They can easily write. Imagine you'll find that person writing in WhatsApp, whatever they do. They can't face you. They can't even call you. They can't come and face you and tell you this, but they can write. But they need to understand the space they have here on the physical world, the interaction, is the same in this digital world. How I should carry around and greet somebody and maybe talk well to somebody, not abuse somebody, is the same thing. You think digital world is a different thing. It is not. It is still the same world. So you need to expose either to the learner, or if you're dealing with the educators, that this digital world has a digital footprint. I know you're going to mention what digital footprint is. So how much are you exposing yourself to? How much are you exposing? How much are you writing? We remember there's, like, I think around 5 years ago, there was a Moi University student that was jailed. I don't remember how many years, because there is a statement he wrote on Twitter about the president. Because of that anger that comes with us, then you feel that I have access, I have my bundles in my phone, I can write whatever I want to write, it is my page. So also that must be emphasized, either to the educators or to the learners as you expose them. Because I've said, we talked of opportunities, there are opportunities there, but as you do this also, you look at the challenges that comes with it. Then when you have emphasized on the online etiquette, you look at their rights. I think this has been left off so much. Creative mind of a learner is between 8 years to 16 years. I've been talking about this to Felix many times. These learners are very creative, and here they have the digital world. They are so easy to post it and have 1,000 likes, it is posted. But is there a pertinent right of their work? Can somebody else use? So if they are not aware to protect their rights, then now they'll end up losing what they are exposed to. So you'll find we need to teach them. There is a internet governance. How do the child have the protective rights, especially on the high school level? I have my students having their YouTube channels at my school. Then they were asking me, how do I protect this? There's this information. There are those who are poetry, they write poems. There are those who can act. There are so many things they can do. So also as educators, we need to look at how do we protect this content of our learners. We need to go ahead and protect so that by the time they are through with the high school level, this content can take them many places. They can even be a money-making venture for them because we have protected that pertinent right of their information from as a young age. And then the other thing is now, lastly, the digital footprint. Because as you have given them this and protecting them now, even though now you have these 1,000 followers, you have this whatever amount of followers do you have, how much do you share there? The other day, our principal shared a video of a student after I think it was a chemistry KCSE paper, was tearing down the papers. So if you're tearing down these papers, what does it mean? Imagine that video online will catch up with you 20 years down the line. You want to be the cabinet secretary of Ministry of Education. Will they give you that position? That would be the question. Would you get that position? So we need to give them the reality that is outside there, that let's be careful with what we share. And I think with that, maybe somebody else in the panelists can add up. Thank you.
My sister, you are flying, my friend, from school policy, school events, learner agency, consent, literacy, privacy, content, etiquette, rights, and internet governance, digital footprint, or is and now the window of opportunity, 8 to 16 years. Amazing. King from the heart, from the mind, and from the soul. Thank you very much, Leonida, for highlighting how we can do that in the schools. And please don't do that in your classroom alone. Let's talk about how we can draw a digital citizenship guideline for every school so that we can support our schools and our students. Remember, you can do that as one teacher who is a champion, like our teacher here, who is a tech fellow, has gone to the world and seen the world. But it's important that we be able to, what is happening. I am going to ask my sister Pamela to tell us, what is this digital footprint, by the way, and does it matter? Yes, 20 years down the line, the CS is going to be brought down. Tricia Njoroge one time, she was told, you cannot become the, she was, okay, let me not go to those. Let me hear what Pamela is saying. All right, Pamela.
Okay, thank you, Felix. Okay, what is the digital footprint? Digital footprint is it's referred to your data. It's referred to your data, the content that you use to interact with when you are online. It sometimes it can be used to track a person online, device of that person use most often, and the kind of habit that the a user have on internet. Has maybe it can be a person who is able to commit a suicide. It can be a person who is able to commit an harassment, something like that, to track your personality, and it depends on the kind of content that you use to interact. Or in case of our student, it's also your digital footprint can also determine your digital reputation, and your reputation really matter online, because the kind of content that you interact with will define the kind of the person that who you are, and the kind of information that you drag. It can be like, we know today social media like WhatsApp and Facebook are connected. If you use one kind of word more often, you can immediately notice that some kind of publicity adversity is coming on your wall, on Facebook wall. I don't know if you notice it sometime. If I'm talking like WordPress one day with a friend, I just noticed that they started sending me advisement on WordPress, advisement on some kind of contents. So now, as the content that you put online, you post online, you click, you interact with, define your footprints. For me, it's very, very important to know what kind of content that you put online, because if we use those social media for free, that means we are product. I don't know if you are getting me. Something like that. If you use something for free, this means you are the product. So if we have to be their product, we have to take advantage of this, because of our footprint. As Leonida said, we have to take opportunities. So we have to define each thing that we want to put online, because first thing, if you are looking for a job, sometimes recruiter has to go on your bio, scan your profile, and see what kind, and maybe to determine your personality because of your digital footprints, because of the kind of content that you put on the internet, on social medias. And we can also talking about most of the time we use those social media without even take note of term of use. Like, you put some information online, and Facebook just tell you that you are I don't know how to say, they block you because of the kind of information that we put on internet. Maybe it don't go in with the term of the term of use of their social media, because, and this kind make this kind of things, how can I say that, because of this kind of content, because the number of time that they block you, they build this kind of profile that put, and they can say that this person is a trusted person, or a person that you cannot trust it. And your digital footprint really matters, because it helps, it categorize you, and maybe sometimes it can make you fail because you don't take care of it very much. That's what I can say for now. I don't know if somebody can add something. Yeah.
You know what you are saying is so powerful. You You are just simply saying, if you are not selling online, you are. And I have realized people have been selling me over time. You know, I didn't know I was the product because these platforms are free. So what Pamela is saying is that we have to take opportunity and use what it seems to be free because we are the products, we are being sold. I didn't know that I was being sold all this time. By the way, when she was speaking, can you try to just go and Google your name and try to Google Leonida, Google Felix Malombe, just say that and see what information is there. I've shared a lot and I realized people have been using this. You know, we have been saying TikTok, you know, in the first steps, of course, you know, the American, American and the Chinese wars or business wars. You know, there was attacks on TikTok that it was being used to, you know, to collect data, and it is true, by the way. But the US was saying that they forget that the Facebook, and you know, it just was. But we are selling ourselves. Digital footprint. Every information, every course you're filling in, like Joel was saying, and you're just sharing information. Your children, you just say, you give them an email, they just go on and they are applying everything, whether they are playing Roblox or whether they are playing Minecraft, whether they're just or creating an email. They are selling themselves. Are we in modern slavery, being used by international organizations? What must we do? It is at this time that Pamela has been spoken rightly so, that we can ask ourselves, should we accept all the cookies? And for us, we have someone to answer that question, and that is person, Pamela. Not Pamela, rather, Jennifer. Jennifer is a child protection specialist, and she is very clear on how we should conduct ourselves, including aspects to do with the digital media balance. How do we ensure our children are balanced? But first, tell us, how do we handle the legal aspects of this? How do we protect our children's creativity, as one of us has said? Jenny, over to you.
Thank you so much, Felix and colleagues who are in this call. So I want to reiterate what everybody has said on terms of digital literacy, but I'll go from a content creation perspective. So for us to be able to help our children, one, they need to be able to articulate this information, okay? To be able to locate, retrieve their data, okay? So, and then and to be able, this is in terms of knowing what is fake news, what is real, okay, and then how do they communicate and how do they collaborate with this information. So I'll get shortly to copyright very shortly. How do they communicate and collaborate? How do they work with others in creating this information, or how do they collaborate with other people in the digital space to be able to create? And when a child knows that I can be able to create content and collaborate with someone else, they're more stronger. They know they're more. They create participatory citizenship. Okay, like they know my work, my content is able to impact the world. Okay, my content is able to influence the world. Okay, they're able to participate in society through public and private digital services. How can we be able to say my content is entertaining, it's informing, okay, other people, but it's also making an impact? And then content creation, this is where I'm going to emphasize how the way they mix their content, you know, especially now the kids, they're able to create to mix text, okay, video and audio to come up with something very unique, okay. But most of them, they don't know how to protect themselves, and they don't know how to create this content in a way that is more impactful. So at Mtoto News, what we do is we have children, they come to our space, and that question you have just said, Mwalimu, it's something that we get every week. My child wants to have a YouTube channel. What am I supposed to do? So we tell them, bring them to us. We'll show you how. We'll show you what to do with them. Because in reality, we cannot stop creativity for children. Okay, as I think Felix said earlier, we cannot say we are not going to give children phones. We're not going to say we are going to restrict this we are going to restrict these children from accessing and participating using the digital platforms. But what we can do is be able to empower them with these skills, okay, on how to create good quality content that they can be able to sell or can be able to use it as an influencer, but also how to copyright, okay, or to be able to have to protect their content. Okay, those are some of the skills. For example, if you have an idea, as soon as you have an idea, write it down, send it to 2 or 3 people. That is the easiest way of copywriting your content. Okay, for example, if before you upload your video, send it to someone, like a raw or a link, maybe a Google link. Send it to someone else and then upload it. So someone can say, you took my content before me. Say, no, I actually send it to this. Can see here, there's paper trail showing I sent to this person before you came up with the idea. Okay, so that way you're protecting yourself. Okay, but as Mtoto is, we are trying to come up with a simplified way. We are working with the office of the they are called ODCP, Madam Kasiati, the one for data protection. We are working with them to be able to come up with a simplified version of on how to protect children, protect your data, and even for children to be able to know this is how I can be able to protect my data. Because if it's a video that you have uploaded on YouTube, it's your data. Nobody's supposed to use it without your consent. Okay, so we are trying to work with the office of the comptroller of data protection. It's a very long name. So, but we are trying to be able to come up with some very simplified laws, because the law is there, but a lot of children don't know how to protect it. And so, but if they have issues, please do let them get hold of us. I'm going to put our email on the chat. They can get hold of us, and then we can connect them to IP lawyers who we know, who are in our network, who can be able to protect them. But we are trying to come up with a formula to help children know that this is my data and how to protect it. So, and then also that means having content that is safe. How do you protect your content? Okay, how do you keep it safe? How do you keep your devices safe? You know, for example, a lot of us who are in content creation, we shoot or record a content, and then like for 20, let's say 5 to 6 episodes, and then we'll upload them intermediately. Okay, we don't upload them. How do you ensure that that child knows that where the content they recorded is safe? How do they ensure that that content is not going to be stolen or is not going to be corrupted? Okay, how do they know that that content is clean? Okay, and this is going beyond the safety that we talk about in terms of keeping yourself safe, issues to do with pornography, but your own content, you know, where you keep your data. Okay, how you shoot it. Okay, how safe is it? Okay, who is editing it and how is it being edited? Okay, that is very, very important. Who interacts with it? Okay, which platforms are you going to upload? Okay, if you're targeting young people, do you want to target to put it on YouTube or TikTok? There's a new one called Gas. Okay, or do you want to put it up on Discord? Okay, which platform are you going to put in? So one of the things that we do it and Total News is just help children to be able to identify these are the places I can be able to upload, and this is how to keep my content safe, and this is how to protect and to produce content that is safe for consumption by everybody. That is not going to put me in trouble. That 5 years down the line, I'm not going to look at this content and think, Aish, what was I thinking? Or it's putting me in trouble. That it's putting me in trouble in terms of government. Okay, trouble in school. Okay, because you produce content that is not palatable to your community. Okay, so you can be able to, how do you ensure that this content is palatable to majority of them and it's not going to put you in trouble? Okay, and how can you be able to use your content to influence? Because for me, I believe a lot of our children are not still aware how powerful social media is, how digital spaces are, but their content can be able to influence. I've just mentioned about Greta, okay, and there's so many other children globally who are using the digital space to influence and to become leaders, okay, and to be able to be members of the society who are making who are coming up with solutions. Okay, there's this kid, the millionaire, the YouTube millionaire on YouTube. He's 9 years old. Okay, I think now he's 10. Okay, but he's making a lot of money. Okay, out of his content, okay? And he has influenced how YouTube does its policies, okay? So how can we be able to create a generation of people who are problem solving? They're not waiting or consuming content from others, okay? They're consuming, but how can we help our children to be able to create content that is able to solve problems that are affecting us, okay? So if when you come to digital citizenship, it's about problem solving, okay? So as a digital citizen, it's the same way you are affected by problems and challenges offline. How can those how can you use the digital space to be able to solve those problems? Issues to do with the SDGs: poverty, education, climate change, okay, urbanization, all these challenges that we have in our continent. How can you use storytelling to solve them, okay? Because storytelling is the most powerful tool to come to pass information and to be able to solve some of these problems. Because a word, okay, I'm a Bible believer, so I'm going to say it, and God spoke a word, okay, and it was be. So god is a storyteller. He said, let there be, okay, let there be, because he knew, and he said, speak a word, okay, and it shall be established. Is speak, okay, storytell it, okay? How can we help our children to storytell, to be able to change the narrative that Africa is today? How can we use the power of the mouth to change how people think about our continent and how people think about themselves? So for me, I believe the digital space, if we can be able to equip our children with these skills on digital storytelling, on communicating, okay, on digital advocacy, on how to use the storytelling as for problem solving, we can be able to impact the world. Thank you so much, Felix. I hope I've been able to answer the questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is
Yeah.
where the law meets the people. And teachers, guys, come on, we don't know anything. Okay, personally, I don't know stuff. Even right now, when I do my business, I don't even know I'm supposed to pay tax. The next time I find that I don't see my company, like right now, my website is down because I don't know, someone changed the domain. I am a tech guy, but I keep, the law is coming to me and I don't know, we need to do tech and law. And we're going to bring Mr. Nkare to come and address us as teachers in the next discussion, so that we also are appraised on that area, so that we are able to get support. You know what? There is Discord. Forget TikTok now. There is Discord, and Gas is taking over from TikTok. Now you know. We're coming to the end of our discussion today because time is stretching so fast. And at this time, I'm going to ask you guys, teachers in the forum, to ask a question to our panelists. Joel spoke a long time ago. He might be taking the first question. So their hand, and then they can ask a question. And because this session is not going to, we can talk until midnight. And because we're on a holiday, guys, at what is taking over TikTok, it is called, you will see it in a few minutes. You can Google it. You can add it to your phone and try to gas it. Okay, I have various hands here. Oh, Nyakango is here now. I can now remember your name. To struggle with the name. Another person wants to ask a question. I have Vida and I have Ovin. That is Vida and Ovin. I need two other questions or one more. And without much time, I'm going to ask Vida to shoot the question.
Thank you, Felix, and thank you to all you wonderful panelists. I've been listening keenly, and this has been very, very, very educative. I wish we have more of such forum so that we can all learn from you. Kudos, guys. My question has to do with
any question, just comment.
So now my question. I want to find out cookies. You made mention of accepting cookies. There are some times that you are visiting a website and it pops up that it's like it's a compulsory thing that you have to do to accept the cookies before you can proceed. And some of it covers the screen. You are not even able to go to the next and all that. Maybe, and there are times that you really need that information that is on that site also urgently. So you're tempted to just accept the cookies. I want to know which cookies must we accept and which one must we not accept. And at what point does it become necessary, even though maybe you need the information, but then it's giving you that, it's not giving you any option of not accepting the cookies, but just accepting it. When do we ignore and try other alternatives? Thank you.
Thank you, Vida. Vida, you're talking from where? Where are you based?
I'm talking from Ghana.
Oh, Vida is joining from Ghana. Thank you, Leonida, for such an awesome connection there. I'll let that question go to I can answer it, but I'm not so good at answering questions, especially because I'm a moderator. So I'm going to ask Pamela to say something. And if there is another panelist who can say something before we come back to Owen. Pamela? You need to unmute. Sorry.
Sorry. Okay, now thank you, Vida, for your question. What is a cookies first? A cookies is a kind of session at the that create that store information of your habit on a website. How many times you click there, how kind of information you've used to visit, what you like, what you dislike, what you used to do, and that's those kind of information that the cookie store on your machine and used to send it to the creator or the website. So they use those cookies to profile you, to create a source of profile, and then maybe later they can sell this information, or those you instead use this information to create some of advisement or the kind of recommendation, content recommendation or article recommendation if you are on a e-commerce website or something like this. So okay, sorry. Okay, so if you want to accept the cookie or not, it depends of how important this information is for you. Will you take the risk to accept or not? It depends on you. For me, what I used to do is like, is it important for me to visit the website? No, I just drop it and go back. But if I don't have choice, maybe I take time, read for the term of use and see if what kind of information that they will collect and for which purpose, and then I chose if I accept or not. So it's your decision at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Pamela. I don't know if there is anyone who wants to add something to that. I think she has covered most of the things. All right. Okay, in the interest of time, yes, cookies. Just look at what it is. Don't just go accept. But generally, they are trying to see what you like. Maybe they can create a product. If you've been looking for shoes, they will give you. Every time you open your website or your computer, it will just be bringing issues about shoes because you've been accepting cookies from every person. So it might be dangerous, and it's up to you to just move around. But every website is now mandated by Data Protection Organization, the GDPR regulation from the UK and the European countries, and now around the world, and even countries' data protection acts to request for you to give consent so that they can use your data to market themselves or whatever. I have a question also, but it will come at the tail end. Ovid.
Hello, everyone, and thank you very much, Felix, and the entire panelists for such very informative and educative, really mind-opening information. I have several questions, but let me just ask one that really piqued my interest on privacy. I think Leonida mentioned it. Leonida, sorry, about go for a trip with your kids and then you post it on social media. And sometimes you do it because you also want to have a digital footprint in the positive side, like maybe you're building a portfolio. It's something good that you think you have done that can help you later. So how do we go about this learner privacy? For example, I want to start a YouTube channel for my students. how do I go about it? As in, about, do I have to seek consent again? It's content they're creating for their class. You talked about covering their faces. Just tell me more about it. Thank you so much. I hope the question is clear.
The question clear. The question is clear and to the right personalist, Leonida.
Thank you, Ovin. I will answer a bit and then I will throw over to Jennifer because with the rights is more advanced on the knowledge on the laws and the application. But at the lower level, as you deal with the learners, no matter what circumstances, you can't post their images, whatever they are doing without their consent. If it's like, let me use an example. When we joined this meeting, there was a consent, a pop-up that came when you joined, asking you that this is pre-recorded. If you are not willing, you can exit the meeting. That is the consent you are talking about, because these videos can be shared later on. Because I'm above 18 years, the consent, I would give the consent. But if I'm talking of the learner, this learner is underage. So the learner cannot give you the consent because of the lack of knowledge. I know Jennifer will give us more details, but what happens is seek the consent of the guardian. Seek the consent of the guardian. But for example, I'm talking about if you don't have the, for example, if I'm teaching in class and I'm demonstrating there and I would want an image, if I take that photo from behind, I wish I could have an image. Maybe Felix, you can get one that is like that. If somebody is from behind and takes a picture, the only face that will be recognized is the teacher who is in front. The learners will be from behind. That image will be a good one. It should show what you have been doing, but you have not exposed to your learners. But there is also another, if you have an image that they are doing an activity, or there is a video, like the way you said you wanted to have a video channel, that means there must be a consent of their parents before going forth with that. But I think Jennifer can add up something about it.
Jennifer, in 30 seconds. Thank you.
Okay, my computer is not unmuting. Oh, sorry, my phone was not unmuting. My computer was not unmuting. So quick one. Consent is very important, and right now we are governed in Africa. We are governed by something called the GDPR. So it's a law that governs data, and one of the key things for the GDPR is you need to get consent if you're engaging any persons below the age of 18. Okay, so you need to get consent from their parents. Children cannot give consent by themselves. However, okay, because this is the digital generation, it's a generation that has been grown, and they want to create a YouTube channel. So the best thing I can advise you is prepare them, okay? Train them on digital literacy, okay? Train them on safety, train them on content creation, okay? Let them know the do's and don'ts of content creation. Let them know the benefits and challenges of being social media and their content being social media. Once they have understood all these, let them give a consent and let their parents give consent. And then again, content moderation is very, very important, okay? So if you are going to share any sensitive information about a child, okay, let them know how that is going to impact their lives. Okay, if they are good with it, ask their parents, your child has shared this, and I believe as an educator, I think it's sensitive information. Do we go ahead and publish it? Okay, and then if they want it, just take precautions. Safeguarding is very, very important. If it's sensitive, don't show their faces or try to do something with their voices so that nobody can be able to recognize it. Okay, but you have to, when it comes, you have to take very strict precautions and safeguarding to ensure that children are safe. Okay, as much as you want to expose for them to participate online. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You know, there are so many questions now, and you know, this meeting was supposed to end in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I don't know how you're going to survive this because, you know, there is Nicodemus, Kimsaya, now there is Immaculate. I'm going to ask Nicodemus to ask the question, just the question, no comment, not the discussion was good. It was good, of course. Nicodemus. Nicodemus, if you are speaking, please not, your mic is not on. All right. In the interest of time, allow me to go to Kimsaya or Kimsaya.
Good evening, the panelists and the attendees. I'm grateful for the session that has given me insights about digital citizenship. My question was on something to do with the privacy, but it hasn't been responded to, and I'm grateful.
Thank you very much, Nicodemus. Rather, Messiah, I am grateful that you've been able to notice that. Yeah, let's continue working together, you know, for these opportunities. Immaculate, show quickly.
Thank you very much, Felix, the panelists, and everyone else. My question was also about the getting consent to expose our learners in whatever we've been doing. Then I'm made to understand that so many organizations would like to see what I, as a teacher, I am doing with my children. Yet on the other end, no parental consent has been given either by the parent or by the school. Does it mean that I'll miss out on these opportunities simply because I do not have photos to give us evidence of my work?
Immaculate, let me say this. I'm going to answer for Joel because Joel wants to say something about that because he does that a lot. When he goes telling teachers, can you do your work and do some scratch coding and take photos and send to me? All we are asking is ensure the school has been allowed to take photos. If you work in that school, that is the reason I will help you to write a digital citizenship policy. You know, we need to talk to the school leader. It is support of the government, but I think government is lacking on that because they think people are not allowed. But we can, you know, craft something that can protect you against any law in Kenya or any law in the world, including GDPR, so that you actually are able to come up with a policy that helps you whenever you're doing such things. As long as there is consent either on the part of the parent or the school has been given permission to do that, you are safe. But always, whether there is policy, there is consent and all that, just ensure you shield the children's faces or voices, as Jenny and Leonida have said. Where Joel would have spoken. I want to close the meeting at that point because this is so exciting. Now, with all due respect, fellow teachers and amazing educators, to close this, Joel. I'll stop you at 30 seconds. Joel?
Okay, sorry, Felix, my network is not good for me today. Could you please repeat what you just wanted me to do?
I'd like you to say your parting shot in 30 seconds. It is the 30 seconds begin now.
All right, so first of all, I just want to thank the great educators who have joined the call. And this shows that we are lifelong learners. As teachers, we can't get a time and say now learning has got to a maximum. We keep on learning and let's do it. Every moment we have a session, please join. And the information we get out of the discussions, let's try it at our places. Otherwise, I wish you a good night, good days ahead. Thank you.
Very much. That is Joel Kahindi, our professional learning specialist at STEAMLabs Africa, speaking to our hearts. Our platform, EdTech and Innovation Hub at STEAMLabs Africa. Jenny, it's your moment to shine in 30 seconds. Thank you.
Oh, she's not unmuting. Okay. Thank you so much, Felix, for this opportunity for us to be able to to speak to the many learners. I saw there were about, I think, 80 at some point. Thank you so much. Let me just say, and I think I'm going to just drop the link at the chat. We are having a training for teachers and therapists on internet addiction. So we have a training in Nairobi and we have one other one in Kisumu. So if you want to attend, and it's going to be facilitated by an expert, 30 almost 1996. She's been doing internet addiction management since 1996, and she's coming to Kenya to help us to build the capacity of teachers, parents, and therapists on internet addiction. Please do register. I'm dropping this at the link. And also, sorry, Felix, I'm going to do this again. We have a children's training from Total News. So just go to the Total News website. I'm just going to put the Total News website on the chat, and Total News website for you to be able to for you to get information about that. So let me just drop the link for the internet addiction training. Just give me a second.
The journey time is up, but it's okay. You continue doing
Yes.
that. You can still come
Yes.
back. Let me go to the next panelist,
Yes.
and so
Yes.
that you
Yes.
can
Thank you. Thank
to
you.
get that. I'm
Yeah.
going to ask Pamela to submit final words. Fanuel, it's coming. The link is on the way coming.
Oh, thank you so much for this amazing panel, for the discussion. I just noticed that we so have many things to do in our country, in Cameroon, in terms of data protection, privacy of student protection, and even digital citizen policy. So I think that I learned a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you, Leonida. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Felix, too. Bye.
Thank you. That's Pamela from Cameroon, speaking from her heart, from her mind, and from her soul regarding the software engineering she has learned over time, and now she's trying to pass that on. I realized Africa requires a service, not sometimes solutions in terms of tools, but sometimes we need service more, and that is what Pamela is doing. Leonida, the final submission, the time begins now.
Thank you so much. It was a great discussion. I feel privileged to be part of this team. It's a part of learning. Personally, I'm learning, and I feel great when I see 70 teachers joining the line and becoming so participative. My passion is to see teachers grow professionally, and professionalism grows not because you go reading books and going to get those papers and certificates, but collaboration and networking. It's so great. Let us always join. When you see a meeting, a link, get those bundles, join. Knowledge is expensive, and when you get knowledge, you can't miss. When you get that knowledge and you go and use it, 1 year down the line, you would have grown. You'll be asking yourself, how did Felix get there? Somebody has asked me that. One time I will call you online. We need the success story of Felix Malombe. Thank you.
Thank you, my sister. You know what? We are here to learn from one another. Let's keep doing this. Every weekend from now on, we are live here to talk about various aspects. Next week, we have what we call best practices. So several teachers will come and tell us how the term and the academic year was. And the other week, we'll have a and from there, we'll have a keynote, and that will bring us to the end of the year and move to the new year. That is how we're going to roll. And I wish you all the best. In case of anything, let us know. We are STEAMLabs Africa. We are in partnership with EdLoop Africa from Leonida. With I don't know if I said it very well. Pamela, you can say the word. And we are in partnership because just last week, this week that is coming to an end, we just concluded a Teams Innovation Week in Nairobi, one of the biggest events run by students for students. And Total News was running that, as they will be sharing the link with you so that you can see what our students were doing. And our student that is 12 years to 16 years, next year we'll do it big and better. This year we were partnered with Safaricom PLC, and it was such a good time. We want to work with you, as a teacher with your school, and we want to bring your students to the Teens Innovation. Next time it will be in Mombasa, and Leonida can host us. We can't wait for this. Or it could be in Kisumu, where Faustina can host us. Or it could be with my friend in Ghana, where we can take the African Innovation Week for teenagers right there. Guys, it's been such an awesome. Muideen is here, and I'm going to call him now to make a salah for us as we come to of this meeting. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. The link will come later on in the various groups that we are in for the recording, and I will share with Pamela and another friend of Leonida that she has in the continent. One family, one continent, one world. Muideen. Muideen, if you can unmute. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Felix. Mr. Felix and other presenters, thank you very much. You said I pray?
Yes, I said that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Felix. Let us pray. In the name of God, the most merciful, the most gracious, all praise be to you. Hello, Felix.
Yes.
Yeah. In the name of God, in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, all praise be to you, God. We pray to you to boost this team who are here and others who are not here. We pray to you, God, to boost the pioneers of this particular function. We pray to you, God, to boost the academic abilities of the professionals, all the professionals who are in this particular program right now. We pray to you, God, to help us do well in our various engagements and in our various works. We pray to you, God, to help us in doing well in our various professionals. Thank you, God. Amen.
Amen. Now I'm going to ask us to take a short snap, a photo, and then we go to Mama, to go to Lala, for those who are sleeping now, and for those who are still working like Pamela and my friends, they can continue. Yes, a photo moment for all the members who are here by now. We went all the way to 86%, almost 86%. I'm still a math teacher. 86, and that is because for some people. Let's do this now. A photo moment. I'm going to ask everyone to take their photo. Take a photo, and remember to share on LinkedIn. You can follow us at STEAMLabs. We are STEAMLabs on all the platforms, whether it is on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter. We are STEAMLabs. We are STEAMLabs. You can tag us in all your posts. Take a photo and have a good time. All right, I'm going to make a large gallery, and I'm going to take mine. At the count of the count of 3, 2, and 1. That's my photo. Thank you very much. Have a blessed evening and good night. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Leon. Thank you, Joel. And God bless you guys. Thank you. Bye for now.